Hi, this is Taxis Chronicles and I'm your host, Simon Russian. Today we have two guests. One's in the world of IT, geeky as many people know. The other lady hasn't said, but she's got tissues wrapped around her finger because she decided to cut some of her finger off and now we're going to hospital. So anyway, you take that. So how's first of all, let's start with the finger.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I was just trying to make a tuna jacket potato, and technique for opening the can clearly needed a bit of work, and managed to slice quite a significant chunk of my finger. So we're on the way to hospital, which is great.
Okay, that's good. And on the other note, how have you been coping during the Corona time? I take it you're a happy couple.
Yeah. It's been good, isn't it? I've quite enjoyed it. It's I don't know, the start of it, although it was a bit weird at first, it was I don't know, almost a nice bit of solace in a weird way. I guess, sort of not having to rush around, mad commuting into work. It's been a nice change. I mean, I'm enjoying it, sort of reopening back up and stuff. But yeah, I think it's definitely changed the world of work and stuff for us.
Yeah, we went to a restaurant for the first time this week as well, which was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Were you seated? Was it really spaced out, following the guidelines?
Yeah, it was actually. Well, it was. The poor staff having to wear these like weird face visors on. It just looks so uncomfortable. But I guess they've got to.
Yeah, you want to get paid, you got to do what the boss says.
Exactly.
The boss is Boris right now.
Yeah, well.
I don't think he's wearing any masks.
No,
he's shaking everyone's hand, hugging, kissing, God knows what.
So you're in the internet world, in the geek world. Explain what you do.
Yeah, so I'm account manager, sales based, but we work for a company called IMI Mobile, and we do a lot of messaging. So I guess if any of your listeners have ever received a message from their networks or their banks or utilities, there's a good chance it's probably come from us.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the UK. Yeah. We both actually work at the same company, which is where we met.
Okay, that's nice. So you're both in the same industry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, so you're one of the, statistically, being a taxi driver, I listen to the radio, they're saying traditionally most people married the person they work with.
Yeah.
But now Tinder's thrown that out.
Ah.
More people are marrying people who they've just met through likeness. I like the image, you have things in common based on Tinder.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is a positive thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're speaking to somebody on Tinder, you know they like you.
Yeah.
Generally, ideally, unless they've just swiped everybody and
I think that definitely happens.
Yeah. But generally, this person likes what they see and you like what you see. So it's like an equal playing field. Unlike if traditionally you have to stop someone in the street, go to the club. It's like,
Yeah.
And then the friends might influence and all of those kind of things.
Yeah, well, we were friends beforehand at work, and now we've been together for what?
4 years.
4 years, and we still work together and live together.
Right. And you managed to be quarantined together.
Yeah.
There's something there. I think you should be giving relationship advice.
Or we're just mad,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really survived the lockdown. Did you lock down, or did you go to a country house or something?
No, we've been in our flat in Highbury for all of it.
Yes, so we haven't had proper garden or so that's been quite difficult. But you make of it what you can.
And did you go out and do your exercises, your jogging? And
exactly. Well, it was the weird thing, isn't it? As soon as you're told you can only go out once, everyone seems to go out. Everyone's out, and then as soon as it's been relaxed, you sort of don't necessarily see the need to go out as much.
I'll tell you what, Sports Direct really missed out.
If
they had opened up during that time, when Boris said you can only go out to do exercise, I would have been the CEO saying, I don't care what he says, we're opening.
Well,
we are opening. Bikes, scooters, everybody's going to want some. Because I was working on the dust carts. That time, and I saw people come out in any kind of sports kit they could find, and it was, you could tell some people, they're outside but they never go to the gym. Not just because they're out of shape, it's what they're wearing. Like some kind of dinner shoes and some Nike shorts. course. They're just trying to wear anything so they can be outside. Yeah, it was amusing.
Yeah. Well, Jack here he's quite an exercise fiend. He's out all the time.
Try and get as much as possible.
Very long cycles, very long runs. I'm more of a a quick 5k.
I've done a couple of marathons.
What marathons?
I did. So London was my first, and then me and my friend had a harebrained idea to run 3 in about 4 months. So we did Dublin, Barcelona, and Paris.
And they're all full marathons.
Yeah.
But mind you, once you've done one.
Yeah, it gets a bit easier.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I would have thought that. I've never done a full marathon apart from in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the commando test, which was 30 miles.
Yeah.
And that's cross country with kit and all that stuff. So that was very emotional because you're running along marshland and hills and valleys through rivers and stuff. But it was great. But I used to live on the marathon run.
Yeah.
And I applied. And after the second time, I just said, forget it.
Oh, it's impossible to get a space. Yeah. When I did it, I ran for charity, so that's the hardest bit. Getting I think fundraising is probably harder.
You have to fundraise £1,000 or something.
50, yeah, I did 1,500. They said to me. I mean, some places are like 2-3 grand. I mean, it's incredible. It's a lot.
It's a business, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot. I don't know. It's a lot to ask people.
And you have to raise money for their charity.
Yeah.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
That's just gangster. Yeah, we're about charity. You want to run? You better pay me.
Yeah.
You better pay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working from home. Are you going to be working from home in the future? Is the boss like, okay, well, guys, you don't really need to come in. We're going to downsize the office.
He is.
We're going to have hot desks and all that kind of things, or use WeWork.
WeWork, yeah.
WeWork.
Yeah, well, I work for our CEO, and so he's pretty come around to the idea that flexible working is the way forward. He's already talking about either closing or downsizing some of our offices, and we're talking about kind of a rota-based system where you come in with your team and then with another team that you kind of work with, and then you come in 2 days a week, and then Friday is kind of a bit of a free-for-all. If you want to come in, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So that's how they're kind of proposing it, isn't it?
It'll save a lot of money, though.
Save a lot of money. Well, they did a big company survey for all employees, so that's like 1,200 employees, asking people if they felt that they've been more productive, if they've liked working from home, if they haven't, and then they've basically based all of their policies around what the results of that survey were. So I think they've handled it quite well. A lot of tech companies actually, the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, they've all kind of said, closed for the rest of the year. Definitely, we definitely won't be going back till 2021. So. But
they're all tech heavy, aren't they?
Very, yeah.
You don't have. You could be on a desert island. As long as you've got a signal, you're good to go.
No, well, it's similar to us, really.
Yeah, it is.
All of our implementations we've been doing have been happening remote, and you've still been able to do it because it's all in the cloud. So it's not a definite requirement that we need to be in the office. Really, it's more social interaction. Well, I do miss going to the pub with our friends.
Yes. The pub.
Yeah.
But I reckon it is the future. It's fun. What the ironic thing is, if somebody had came along and said at the start to companies, you lot need to allow your staff to work home to be more healthy and not to come in so often, and they can spend time with their families or mental health, the CEOs would have gone, oh, go away, security, get them out the door.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, yes, we was coming this way anyway.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's given them a bit of a, they can't really ignore it now because everyone has done it overnight, and there's been no issue with productivity.
If you think about the roll-on effect of that, though, all the Starbucks, the preps, all those
and
places.
the office space. What's going to happen to all the office space?
Turn them into nightclubs.
Will nightclubs be allowed to open? And when are they going to be allowed to open?
Saying, there's a spacious nightclubs with grids on the floor.
You can grids on the floor.
Square that kind of thing. Well, they need to find something. Because it's only going to be the small businesses who are going to hold up the economy in that direct sense. Because You're going to get people who are going to order in home. But if you think about it, the average person takes an hour to get home, an hour to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 hours a day.
It's a long time.
And considering you may take 45 minutes to an hour to get ready in the morning, now you just can be in your pajamas, put on a shirt if the boss needs to do a Zoom call.
Yep.
And you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's money as well. Like, especially for, people our age living in London, it's like, saving money before this was actually impossible. But now it's actually, okay, I can save some money. Like, this is good.
But it also brings on the question is, will the CEOs be saying, right guys, you lot can work from home, but you're going to be saving money on travel and money on time.
Salaries, yeah.
So let's look at reducing salaries, everybody's salary by £200 a week, a month, or whatever. You see what, some other people say, well, actually, I'll come in then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Actually, I'll come in there and you can pay for the office, the overheads of the office lighting and the coffee and the drinks and all that.
Well, our company reduced all of our salaries by 20% or 10% based on how much you earn for the 3 months when, we weren't sure how bad things were going to get.
But wait a minute, surely you was on furlough?
No, not on furlough. They just reduced permanent members of staff salary. They've returned them all back to normal now. So if you're earning over X percent, it was X amount, it's 20%, and and the board of directors all took, I think, a third off their salaries.
Well, that's right.
Just to safeguard,
keep the company afloat.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I would say this, it's just like when the government pays out the banks, and I say, wait a minute, there's 2 things here. One, if the banks have always been paying themselves bonuses, they've spent their money wrong. So that's their problem.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if real capitalism is, if you haven't saved for a rainy day, or structured your business accordingly, then you're going to fail. And then some other business will come up with a better system, and that's how you get the innovative, and the world will develop, or this country will develop. But if you're always saving, like people are reckless.
Well, who was the big company it was something in March, wasn't it? They paid their directors something like 100 million. I think was it Virgin? Paid their directors hundreds of millions of pounds in dividends, and bonuses. And then, they're the first ones there with their, cap in hand to the government, being like, oh no, we need money, otherwise we're going to have to sack a load of staff. And you're just like, well, exactly.
Sack the staff, and we have to sack the staff. But I suppose that's where that limited company and all those kind of things come into play, is that some people don't care because they know that at the end of the day they're going to be protected. So even if your business fails, you still got your mansions and your Ferraris and all of those kind of things. But I'm not the governor. I'm just a taxi driver. In that respect.
How have you found lockdown?
To me, nothing's, apart from obviously money, income, nothing's changed. It's just been, right, at night, Friday and Saturday night hasn't really changed because young people don't care. And so in the first week, let's say, first week or 2 is quiet, but then after that, people say, oh, I need to go and get my leg over now. And, I need to go and where's my fix? I need my weed, I need this, I need that. So one point it was ridiculous because you're getting these drug dealers that get in the car and they say, oh, I want to go there, but just drop me here, wait, and jump in now, take me over there. And then you have to say to them, listen, you only get 3 stops, you've got to put them on the thing, otherwise it looks like I'm trying to cheat Uber. And they go, oh, no, you don't, no. I said, listen, you can get on your scooter, but no one wants to be caught on the street.
Exactly.
They get rid of drug dealer, but and then you got the prostitutes that are going to the rich people.
Oh my God,
down the West End and all those city of certain parts of London where you've got these expensive tower blocks.
Have you got some of them to do your podcast?
Yeah, I have.
Really?
Yeah, I have. And one give me her number and everything because I was meant to. No, what happened? I recorded the thing. She calls herself an internet model.
Right.
So I recorded it, and it was really interesting because she talked about how you're making money, and she doesn't. and there's an agency, and she just does sexual things on, like, let's say you go on the phone or the internet, and she be there in a lingerie, and, you know, what's your fantasy? Yes, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she's explained, but she says because she's from Canada, no one in Canada, her videos blocks Canada.
Right. So no one knows.
No one knows what she does.
Right, okay,
But she travels 3 times a month.
Gosh.
Right, okay.
And she's got enough money to buy a property, and she lives a luxurious lifestyle. But then you meet different kind, because I've talked to other working girls, and they're just buying clothes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, sister, you know, you need to really think about, forget footballers, this is a real short lifespan.
Yeah.
What you're doing and stuff, and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Must be so interesting. You must get so many good stories.
Yeah. I had an interesting story, a guy who's on who in data protection industry.
Okay, yeah.
Data security, sorry. And I thought there's like some geeky thing, but he's telling me how he got somebody off the death penalty.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
In like Indonesia, the person I did a podcast about it. It's called Data Security, but in short, he was sentenced to death. You know those countries, they kill you quick.
Yeah.
Because there was £30,000 worth of cocaine in his suitcase at the airport. But he said it's not his. He travels all the time. What turned out that lots of people had asked. His wife, basically, he told his wife, we're getting a divorce. She didn't want to share 15 million. She wanted it all to herself.
Right.
So she had ordered, they ordered cocaine from the dark web. It had been delivered to her house. Then she had used some tape to sellotape it into their suitcase, and then packed his suitcase like normal and sent him on his way to go on his business trip. So they found all this out because they got hold of the family computer, and they found the tape, which matched the tear on the thing. She didn't cut it with scissors, it matched the thing. So so he had to go to the authorities and say in Indonesia, or I think it's Indonesia, and say, explain the case, and they said, okay, he can go, but he can't come back, kind of thing. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be going back in a hurry.
That's fine with me, you know. I Zoom all my business clients from now on. Yeah, so like that. But then obviously, I don't know what happened to the mum, because the mum wasn't in the country. Yeah. So unless, you know, I think they just leave it at that. But then the mum will have to face the kids, because to explain to the kids who weren't young that dad wanted to divorce me, so I tried to get him killed.
Try explaining that one over the dinner table.
Yeah. So you just got mad stories like that on the podcast.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts.
And stuff. But yeah, that's about it. But anyway, thanks a lot for that interview. It's much appreciated.
I'll have to give your podcast a listen.
Yeah. For the guys out there, the listeners, I hope you liked that interview. Very interesting. I know it varied from subject to subject, but it's just one of those natural things. It's more of a chit chat. Don't forget to listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investing Stories, about people who've invested in Africa from around the world, and the good and the bad and the ugly. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.